Thank you so much for joining the podcast with me. I appreciate it. One of the reasons Bikum is here is because when I first met him, I listened to you talk about logic and like mathematics, and I've sitting around your conversations when the guys are having a drink, and you just go into these like philosophical things, and I just like was so fascinated to listen to because I honestly hadn't met people like you my age when I first met you,
Yeah.
so it was fascinating just to listen to you. But then, like, I come home, add you on Facebook, and then I see you've written like so many Sinhalese songs and like books, and that's when I remember thinking, like, how is this possible? To give some context, we're both from Sri Lanka, and growing in Sri Lanka, what I realized was you could be creative, but as long as you have a way to provide a career to provide for yourself, something that's good, a doctor, lawyer, professor, all these things, as long as you can do that well, you're good to create and don't let it happen. And I was always good at creative stuff and not always good at studies. And I later on realized I have ADHD and things like that aided to that. But I always thought that you know you had to be either creative or logical to go
Oh,
into these kinds of that was my thought process growing up
I
and
see.
even coming into adulthood until I met you. That's when I started question. That's why it was so intriguing for me to me. So starting with that, that's the basis on why I have Vikum over here.
Okay.
So let's start from your childhood.
Okay.
What was little Vikum like? And
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, first of all, thank you so much for
Yeah.
getting me into this podcast. It's interesting. So, and I'm looking forward to our discussion today.
Yeah.
And yeah, to tell you a little bit about myself. So, when I was little, I'm not a big academic person either. So I was not really like a very good at studying person either. So
Okay.
yeah, we kind of like so I played did like we go to beach and all these things. We did all these crazy things. So I am not that good academic person. So in fact, when you think about it, I have never been like the first in my class. Yeah, so until I get my even my there's a GC O
O
level
level.
exam. Yeah, so O level up to that level, I have always been like not a A student, C student. Okay, and then I did my O levels first time, and in fact I didn't pass. I only got four passes, 2 credits. One is Sinhalese,
Yeah,
that the other
yeah,
one is. I think it was religion or something. So,
yeah.
so and then I was starting to think, oh well, I can't be that stupid. So why did I get this kind of grade? So then I start studying. So I got serious. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll start studying. And the next time I took my O levels, I came up with like 6 Ds and 2 credits, something like that. So I passed very well in my O levels. And since then, I never looked back. So I just kept studying, and then I got addicted to being a studying person.
Yeah.
So but think about it though, when I was growing up, even though I didn't study, I was a reader. So I read a lot of. So like I go to the library those days, and I anytime I have a chance, I start reading this creative fiction and all those things. And then later on, I was not even in fiction or anything. I sometimes go into like religion, politics. I get anything that I come in my way, a book, I start reading. So that's how I got into this area. I'm being
Wow.
academic. Yeah, yeah. So,
So you weren't the smart kid. What else did you? So what did you do? What were your favorite things to do as a kid?
well, we lived like maybe about 2 miles from the beach.
Okay,
So
so first of all, go ahead and give
every
context to our listeners, like what childhood was like, because
okay.
we have international people. So I want you to tell what childhood was like in Sri Lanka at your time.
Time. Yeah. So I my childhood home is in Vattala. It's like about 6 miles from Colombo. But from those days, it's like 1 or 2 miles to the beach. So it's Palyavatta, those
Mhm.
Handala. So those are like close cities to me.
Okay.
So we walk to the beach, So every Friday we cut school, we go to the beach,
Right.
We swim and then eat something and come
Right.
back. So that's how it was. And also we go, play, like after the school. We never
Right.
go get home until like late, So
Right.
we just go to the play anything, So soccer, cricket, LA, whatever, So that
Yeah.
we just play.
LA is like a baseball version, right? Like,
Exactly. It's pretty much similar.
yeah.
And the only thing is, I think baseball, like we also have three,
Basis.
bases and everything pretty similar. I'm thinking what's different.
Yeah, I don't know. If
Yeah.
you all know, let us know the difference between LA and
Yeah,
baseball.
baseball. I think the speed of maybe pitching. Yeah,
Oh,
pitching
yeah.
is kind of usually like
Under, right?
underhand. Yeah,
Underhand. Okay, okay, okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
So okay, so you so what I'm hearing is, and my father's background is pretty similar to yours too. Was so growing up, maybe until O levels, like studies wasn't a huge part of your life. Like
Hmm.
it wasn't a huge emphasis, was it? Like how did your parents look
Hmm.
towards
Yeah.
react towards studies with
Studies.
you?
Yeah, well, my background is kind of like in education. So my grandfather was a teacher, my grandma was a teacher, and my mom also did some teaching, like preschool teaching and things like that. And my uncle, I only have one uncle, so he's also a teacher. He's like a principal in one of the central colleges. So this like a background is in education.
Right.
Yeah, my grandpa was what those days they call them Guru Nansi.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Guru
he was
Nas.
a Guru Nansi. So
Okay.
people know. Still, when I go, they call me, oh, that's the grandson of that Albert Guru
Guru
Nansi.
Nas.
So people know. Yeah. So we had that background, but we are not like, my parents didn't push, oh, you have to study. But from beginning we knew, studying is the way to, achieve anything, so
Right.
yeah,
Right.
if you want to do something, you have to do it.
But you said that you weren't that interested or like doing well. I mean, if you want first at least once in your life, like what's the point, right? Like,
Yeah.
so how did you like? So your parents didn't once tell you like, "Puta, what is this? Like, why aren't you doing getting it?"
uh, Actually not, but we did have the peer pressure in a way, right? So everyone around you kind of doing things, they achieving, like education. So then, sometimes,
Yeah, competition, right?
competition. Yeah.
Because that's what it was like for me.
Yeah.
Because yeah, the class list, right? After the exams, you want to know how many. And if you are between the first and the 10th, you're like somewhat okay, but after that, you're like, oh.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So then,
That's fascinating.
yeah, yeah,
Because we have a lot of similarities that way too. My parents never like told me to do one thing or the other.
yeah.
They gave me a lot of freedom, but I think because of societal pressure, meaning the competition,
Yeah, yeah.
that played a huge role.
Mhm.
Even though, see, you were able to still enjoy life there
Life,
a
yeah.
little bit. For me, because of that competition, from the get go, I realized like all my friends, a lot of them were privileged. They had drivers and cars, um, and they would bring them to school. My father was a priest. We didn't have money,
Money,
but
yeah.
we got a scholarship to go to the school, St. Thomas's. And my father said, wait until you take public transportation and do whatever you want after that. So I waited till 12 years old and learned how to take the public transportation. Bus ke gihilla and did I went to school by I think 6:30 in the morning, did orchestra, and I would leave school after choir practices at like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then you go to tuition classes after that and you come home around 6, 7. So
Yeah.
it's like a full 12-hour day.
Right,
And I
right.
realized like even though I lived in Ireland, I never got a chance to like really enjoy the unlike
Yeah.
school like
Yeah, yeah.
until you can leave school randomly. I
Yeah.
never went to the beach other than that.
Oh man, yeah. See,
So our childhood was similar in
similar.
certain ways, but you got to enjoy a lot of freedom.
Lot of freedom, especially I think our days, the tuition was like in the infancy, so but like all the grade school up to like grade 8, people usually don't go tuition. And
Right.
even though they do, they go to like hard subjects like math or physics or something,
Right.
but now of course kids go like they take every subject, right? So and starting from preschool shishat,
Oh, right.
yeah,
Even that. Yeah, I
even
remember
from
that was a
shishat,
thing
yeah.
when I was growing up too. Yeah, because a
Yeah.
lot of the rural kids
Mm-hmm.
needed the Shishatri to come. That's the 5 year exam, fifth grade exam.
Great, yeah.
And a lot of the rural kids, if you pass them, you get to go to the big schools in Colombo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Even you got best of both worlds. Um,
Mhm.
what other kind of things did you do other than playing sports and stuff? Did you do anything else as far as like
Well,
hobbies and things?
yeah, when
Reading, obviously, you said.
reading for sure, and then when I was in college, like university, I was involved in little bit politics. Yeah, so but not like party politics. It's more like student
Hmm.
politics. So a
Oh,
little
like
bit
government, student
government,
government.
student government. So a
Okay.
little bit involved in that while in college, and then main thing was the studies. So once you get into the that program, it's
Right.
yeah. And then once in a while, like my high schools, I did some creative work, like student newspapers, write things for that.
Hmm.
And yeah.
What made you go into that?
Well, so from once you start reading, you kind of you have that inner
Your own
desire to,
opinions, right?
yeah,
You
of
wanna.
opinions, and then you wanna say things, do things, and you wanna make things, create, and you always look at like fiction or poetry. Why can't I do this? This is interesting. This guy has done like playing with the words, right? So
Yeah.
you're thinking, oh, maybe why can't I do it? So experimenting, but
Mm.
nothing in like published type of
Hmm.
way. We just do it for hobby and
So
sometimes
curiosity was the
curiosity.
real force.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And then of course whatever you write, you usually throw it away. I don't even keep it. Right? Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Um, so creating, um, any kind of creative things. You think growing up, anybody around you took it seriously somehow?
The creativity part. I think some of my classmates, schoolmates, they went further. So there was like several who went to music,
Hmm.
arts. Very good artists. Some even went into draw pictures for newspapers, like
Mm.
Chitrakata. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, they have been doing all those things. Uh, yeah.
So those kids,
Mhm.
even in your school, when they were in school, they would paint and draw and write and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How did you, as a kid with growing up, how did you view them?
They had a acceptance, like school has what musical shows, talent shows,
Hmm.
things like that. So these kids get to present their work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you decide to see them in that time?
I think it's like a extracurricular actor,
Right.
right? So
Okay.
they nobody thinks this is where you're going to be working, or
Yeah.
I mean, it's the culture, right? See, in Sri Lanka, you have to be a, a doctor or a
Right.
lawyer
Exactly.
or a,
Because if you
yeah.
look at it from nowadays, right? Like
Mhm.
even in Sri Lanka, I've noticed when parents realize that their child is gifted or creative or whatever. I find that even in America, here in Cleveland, there are so many examples of Sri Lankan parents who have seen their kids' creative talents and actually have supported them.
Right.
Some of them are doing education stuff, some of them are not. Some of
No.
them are actually going that direction.
Yeah.
So that's why I actually asked,
Uh-huh.
that was still an undertone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. So, because I'm really curious to see like
Yeah.
how those, kids felt in those age. Because
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, we're cool. They like our song, but we still gotta get the grade.
Get the grades. Yeah. 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 So I think now, even in Sri Lanka, they are kind of realizing, you don't have to be an engineer or a doctor to be successful in life. So,
Mm.
and there's many artists now of course makes a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So the new generation artists are making a lot of money,
Right.
so they are sometimes well off than you engineers and doctors. So there's acceptance now.
Yeah.
See, our when we were growing up, money is not a really like a big thing. People didn't really care about money, right? So you need something, but money doesn't make you, a big person.
Money doesn't make the world go around at those days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's very interesting. Oh my
Interesting.
gosh. Yeah, because nowadays, I mean, especially us, right? Like,
Yeah,
it was all about money, 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 future, future, future,
yeah.
safety, safety.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so, what did success look like in your family then? How would they define?
Well, I think education for sure, they valued it, so people kind of say, okay, he's studying, he's this, he's doing well, something
Mm.
like that. And also, they kind of look at it from like, you know, achievement, like
Yeah,
somebody with a
accolade.
car,
Yeah.
yeah, so cars, or, traveling abroad, so those
Right.
are the
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Perks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
so the question is then, were your parents alive when you first started writing music and songs and stuff?
Uh, well, hmm. Yes, they were. Like, say, yeah, my first CD came up like 2008.
Which
So
one was that? The
this one is,
Pasatahan, right?
yeah, yeah, that's the first one. Yeah. So then I was, creating like one CD a year or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
for a while, and then now I don't do that much.
Right. But what were their reactions?
Well, they kind of accepted it. So, and they already knew, I'm
Well
working.
off, and yeah. Well, what are gonna they say now, right?
Yeah.
Like, I did everything you want me to do. I'm
Yeah.
the well off. I get.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So you did the right way. You did
right.
everything, and then you showed the side, the proper Sri Lankan way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was something I always tell, like, even my wife is like, if somebody told me that, like, when I grow up I could make money being creative, I would have told them that they're crazy, because our culture would not let me believe it at the
Exactly. Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to be very clear. Like, I don't think that when we talk about Sri Lankan culture, and especially where I come from, I don't talk about it from a place of like regret or hurt.
No.
It's more like I understand what it was, and I realize culture played a major role in our lives
Yeah. Yeah.
and how we saw the world. And I
Mm.
think as you grow up, you things become clear, right?
Clear.
Closure
Yeah.
comes through, and as creative people, what I find it is like people who are creative are more closer to who they really are, the inner child,
Yeah.
because they put all their emotions and ideas and everything into a work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and when you think about the creativity, in fact, the human mind, kind of works like we are looking for patterns, right? So we want to see a pattern. So that's how we understand things, So if there's chaotic, it's going everywhere, then you are having trouble understanding. So I'm thinking, in reality, everyone is creative.
Yes.
Even if you look at a farmer, right? So plants crops in a nice lines, and then have it in, like, say, different colors, so
Yeah.
it's really creative. See, that's their art, so
Right.
when you think about it, right?
100% I agree.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, when I started this journey on the podcast, I
Uh,
used to think that creative people were a certain kind of people and not. And then as I come through the journey, I realized, like what you said, creativity is more than the arts.
uh-huh.
It's how you can, like, think of an idea
Yeah.
and make it work,
Well, yeah.
like coming a problem solving.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
creative people do. So for farming, for example,
Exactly. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, when you, like, if you take a drive through, like, countryside in US or any country, think about how people build these houses. They're so beautiful, right? So they,
yeah.
like, red barns and all these colors, and it have this nice picture, right? See,
Right.
when we drive, we enjoy it, but think about, right, is somebody created it,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Yeah. So it's,
That's wow. I never thought about that because yeah, you're literally creating this image for other people to
Yeah,
see, but still that requires
yeah, yeah.
creativity for sure.
So yeah, even like technicians, when you think about it, they are doing creative work.
Right.
Like see, kitchen cabinets or anything.
Yeah.
When you think about, see, look at
Woodworking.
woodworking, right? See, because people want to see and enjoy,
Right.
not just practicality, right?
Right.
So yeah, when we were growing up, of course, we use knife for everything, right? So
Right.
knife is to cut the bread, get the butter,
Yeah.
and even eat with the knife.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, but people are creative, so they thought, oh, we need different, utensil for different things. So
Yeah.
creation, right?
Interesting. So yeah, all people are creative. So um, that actually takes us to let me see. So writing songs. Did you start that before you wrote the book or after
Well, my first book was uh, didn't have any songs, I believe. Yeah, so that's right there. Yeah,
the
and
Makono Satahan?
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
that one is mostly poetry.
Okay.
Okay, and uh, and I think none of
You
them
did this
were.
in paint, didn't you?
Yeah, no, that's actually my daughter,
Oh my
my
gosh.
oldest daughter.
It's
Yeah.
the paint, the Microsoft Paint, right?
Yes, yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. So she is a doctor, but she her creativity is there too. So she thinks of,
Wow.
yeah. So yeah, and she was 8 years old when she was doing that.
Wow, that's so cute.
Yeah,
So, remind me, you said you wrote this after the songs or
before the
before
songs.
the songs?
Yeah,
So, what inspired this? The,
it's
well,
I
first of all, Makuno Satahan. That's
yeah
like forgotten memories.
forgotten memories. Yeah, yeah, and so it's I think during this time, the internet is like there, the computers are up, so I start, I got some software for writing singular, so I thought maybe I'll start writing few of my thoughts, and
Right.
that's when, I start doing that. So yeah, and
So the thoughts, yeah. What was the reason? What made you feel like I want to start writing? Like, was that
it's
something you want to remember?
sometimes like that, but sometimes like a different view. I want to bring it, like the common view is there. So, but what about thinking this way? Can somebody can think that way?
Right.
So it's kind of a curiosity, like what you were saying earlier. Yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, did you ever think like being a mathematics professor, like what am I doing? I should put all my time into like writing papers and all of those things. Was that a thought you ever had thought of?
Originally, I did have that thought, and then, so I thought one, either you have to keep doing research and publish, or do you want to enjoy
Publish.
the
Yeah.
life, So I decided, okay, it's more important for me is family and, teaching. I enjoy teaching, so that's the things, I thought, oh, yeah,
Okay.
I'll go into that, and then, that made me, not too much into the academic, so and I did the required amount of research, but nothing more.
How old were you when you first like made that decision?
I'm actually around 30s, like
So 30s.
yeah,
So
early,
it's
yeah.
funny. I'm like in my 30s, and when I hit 30s, when I started questioning about
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So that was
that's
a conscious decision. That's good. Like
yeah,
that's a pivotal moment in your life,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Because if not, what else? You could have been like a published author,
Or
like
the
in
or go into not the academia. I could have gone into like industry, like
right.
banking or pharmaceutical, like a statistical part. So I there
Could
was
have made a
several.
lot of money with
Yeah,
that too.
computer science also,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and then but I thought this is what I am, and probably like I was saying earlier, my background is my family is in teaching, right? So so
Right.
it's kind of a natural, I suppose.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad that you had a pivotal moment because I think we have to have we have to make a decision in our lives, right? Like I think
Exactly.
it's very important because if not, I don't think you can do both.
No, no, no. You are right. Yeah. And speaking of pivotal, so in when you think about, our life, we always have pivotal moments. But
Yep.
the thing is, we don't realize sometimes. Like sometimes it could be a single person, that made the difference in your life. And so I can think of, my change. Remember I was speaking about I first failed my you know first that O level exam, so
Yeah.
I didn't pass. And that's my pivotal moment because, one of my teachers was
Right.
also telling me, oh, you can do it, so there he brought me to the focus, so
Mm.
he gave me questions and asked me to do it sometimes in class, so that he changed my,
Mm.
direction when you think about it.
So
So
that was one of the first pivotal moments, and then the next one came after you decided when you had kids, like, okay, I want to live, I enjoy life.
enjoy life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has there been any other pivotal moments since then?
That's, I think, many, I never thought anything else though, but, there's some, always, I mean, this a series of events, of course. Yeah.
Do you think,
Uh-huh.
as a person who creates, that you are more aware of what's happening in your life?
Mm, yeah. Well,
Because okay, let me ask you this way then,
mhm,
because I think a lot of us go through life without realizing actually what's happening. We
mhm.
just let life happen to us, and I think as a creative, as since I write a lot and like do a lot of the creative things, I find that I can figure out life as it's happening because it's more clear. Everything is clear to
Clear.
me.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of question I was going for.
Okay. So yeah, thinking about that, sometimes like, remember they say, to understand some person's, problems, you have to like walk a mile with his shoes or something, right? That kind of a saying.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the way, so you have to be kind of thinking why these things happens, what's behind this, and that makes it, like sometimes, you have your anger or anything, any other emotions, see this thinking back, like kind of makes it clearer, and you are not less like critical or maybe a situation, and you are more forgiving,
Yeah.
once you understand what's going on, right?
Right. So is
Yeah.
it a practice where you like, I don't understand what's happening, or I'm angry, I want to understand why? Is that out of like that thing, or it's like,
It's probably later. I think the first, like human nature is to react, right? So
right,
yeah,
right,
anything
100%.
happens, so
Yeah.
you just immediately react.
Right.
But like many cultures, like even Buddhism, that's
Yeah.
what they say. Don't react immediately, right? They
Hmm.
say take time. Yeah, that's what hardest thing for us, right?
Right,
So
right,
but
100%.
yeah, if we do that though, and then you are less emotional, less angry, and it gets clearer, and you know yeah,
Yeah.
that's how.
Um, so it sounds like you get into writing or questioning, sometimes out of curiosity, sometimes out of like human emotions of like,
Emotions.
I need to figure this thing out. This is eating my brain out or whatever.
Yeah, and also situations that's happening in like country or the world, and giving a different perspective for people, like
Yeah,
people.
why is that important? Giving a perspective to
It's,
people.
I
What is
think
the thought behind it?
the thought is, see, sometimes you see things people are keep saying the same thing, so I'll give you a, like I recently did a song, so that song is about like, in Sinhalese culture we have something, Kokageware, තිබ්බන තිත්තයටත් වාරයක් එනවා කියලා, right?
I
So
don't
that
remember
means, koka means crane.
Crane,
So the
yes.
crane gets a chance, and then the small fish also gets a chance. But my thought is that's not really true. Once the crane gets the chance, the fish is gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Fish
There is
gone.
no chance for the
No
truth.
chance for the fish. So that's like it's kind of saying only. I mean, my thinking is, if you lose a chance, you lose it forever,
Right.
and you can't bring it back. The time don't go backward, right?
Right.
So that's there's some misconceptions in our culture and all cultures, of course. So and these are the things. So when I see that, I want to give them, oh no, that's not true. If you lose it, you lose it. And so that's something I wrote. So these kind of things, little things I see,
Right.
and I want to say, yeah.
So that's interesting. So as a creative, as a person who's like, oh my gosh, I realized something. I don't want to keep it to myself. I want to share it with the world.
Yeah.
That's what we are doing here. And nowadays, it's more prominent. Like,
Yeah.
I look at my father when he was doing video ministry at the Anglican Church. He was only showing the videos and stuff like that to the people, to his audience. But if there was social media at the time, it would have been a very different story of how people would view those and those kinds. So while that's happening, you are telling people your opinions and how you figure these things out. And because you're a creative, because you're like, hey guys, I figured it out. Like, listen, like try, figure it. Here you go. You don't have to waste your time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you as a creator, you have this sense of like, I want to give into my society. Okay.
And also, like common themes, when you see that common themes, you wanna, kind of think about that also, right? So it's a way to, make people think in different ways.
Right.
Because, nowadays, of course, everyone gets news from Facebook and,
Yes.
Instagram. So,
Yeah.
and the opinions are made very fast. And then it's a fast pace, so people want to hear the news and make their opinion within seconds.
Right.
That's not true, though, right? Yeah.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It's if you really want to make informed decision, get informed, right?
Yeah, because things are more nuanced, right?
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, even the immigrant experience here, I can say one thing from my side, and that's my experience, but the person on the other side look at me like that's a different
That's
experience.
it, exactly. Yeah. So that's really true,
Okay, that's good. How do people react to you when they find out that you write songs and you're an author? Especially, I mean, give me people here and people there. How do people react?
Well,
People who don't know that
Don't
you
know.
already. Yeah, new.
sometimes they get surprised, of course, because my area is mathematics. So people think mathematics is not related to anything, but
Right.
mathematics is creative. So it's a creative subject, right? So we think it's concrete, but in reality it's really not a concrete subject. Mathematics, the flexibility is essentially there. So yeah, I always give this example. Maybe you have.
I've heard. Yeah, go ahead. Explain to us.
Yeah.
Share with us.
See, like in mathematics, when like a layperson, if we ask what's 1 + 1, the answer is of course
I've
2,
heard
right?
this
You
one.
heard
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
So, but mathematicians, 1 + 1 is not 2. It depends on what you're adding. Okay, so if you're adding apples, yes, 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah.
But if you're adding drops of water, 1 + 1 is 1, right?
Right.
1 + 1 is 1.
Yeah.
So computers don't work if we don't have this binary system, which is 1 + 1 is 1, 0, 10. See?
Right.
So yeah, it's creativity. So mathematics was not solid or rigid like people think. So the right answer is 1 + 1 is anything you want it to be. Like there's a joke in Sri Lanka. So one of the politicians asked this. What is 1 + 1? So sir told the curry. Sir මොකක්ද?
Anything you want it to be.
Yeah.
1 + 1.
So yeah, that's the real mathematics also. So if Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is completely going out of topic, but why didn't like our education systems explain mathematics in such a like a cool way? Like I feel like if we were told that way that mathematics actually could be creative, I feel
Creative.
like children would look into it differently.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's the confidence. The lot of teachers, feel like they want answers, like solid answers, so they are not confident for the students to experiment.
exam
Yeah,
ready.
yeah, exam ready. Yeah. So and but real creativity, like give them a problem
Mm.
and find out how they solve it. So what
Yeah.
happening in education is the opposite. Give them like a recipe or a formula and try this and do this. So there's no creativity. So it's education is kind of taking the creativity out.
Because
Yeah.
I got into woodworking much later in my life, out of a curiosity and a hobby. My father always did it. I've always seen it, but never tried it. So when I actually tried to apply it, I realized I was using my maths again. I was like thinking about physics stuff that I've like learned and picked up here and there. And later on, like I've had a woodworking business. I built furniture, I do these
Mhm.
things, all that kind of stuff. Not until a friend of mine came to me like, dude, you're actually a really good engineer. You can solve problems. Not until he came to me did I realize like I didn't realize, oh my god, you're right.
Yeah.
But like because I didn't get a degree or I wasn't good in maths or all these things, I thought I wasn't, not even
Right.
considered one.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's the like kind of stereotyping, right? So yeah, you engineers look like this, doctors look like this, so that kind of
Right.
yeah. So
And now with AI, like
yeah,
any subject I want to learn, I can
yeah,
learn
yeah,
and
yeah, and you can actually get the like to the depth of it pretty quickly, right? Yeah,
pretty quickly.
yeah.
Because I find like ever since I've
Mhm.
got into the creative process and started asking questions, that's all I do now. Like, so if I don't understand something, I immediately go to ChatGPT and like, tell me what am I not understanding here? Especially with all the politics stuff, with like
Uh-huh.
especially a lot of the economic stuff that's happening recently, and like I feel like I should know what these guys are talking about. So I start to, and then it's been the best thing ever. It's like my own
Exactly.
tutor.
Yeah,
So being
yeah.
curious and asking questions.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So it sounds like you don't really have a problem or you don't struggle between going from logical to emotional and creative. It's like kind of,
Kind
it's
of
all
blend,
one process for you. It's very interesting
blend
because
together. Yeah.
changing my mind in so many ways. You're blowing my mind in so many ways. So maybe this is silly, but have you ever been in a room or setting where you had to hide one part of you, meaning the academic part and the emotional, creative part?
Yeah. So like my creativity being, I write in Sinhalese, so like in my campus, only few people know that I really do this
Wow.
creative work. But now many know because of the internet, right? So they
Right.
can, when you search my name or something on the Google, you get all these, extra other things.
Yeah, I appreciate your Wikipedia, by the way. That was a very nice touch. I thought that was very smart of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so what I'm hearing is you don't have to write, you don't have to do any of these things, but out of curiosity, out of challenging the
Mhm.
youth, it seems like that's what you're like driven more, like
Exactly.
changing
Yeah.
people and the
Yeah.
next generation. Um, after how long have you lived in the US now?
Uh, I this is my 39th year. So next year it will be 40
40
years.
years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So
Yeah.
why still this dedication after 40 years of living in this country, you know, to this trying to like mold the future generations of Sri Lanka? What why?
I the very good question. Thank you for asking. Yeah. So I think it's the background and the growing up, and then you also kind of like Sri Lanka is like the pond or something, so we are kind of springing up, right? And so then you feel like you need to kind of pay back. So yeah, I'm involved in like our I went to University of Colombo, so I'm involved in science faculty, alumni association here. So we pay back. So we give scholarships. There was this COVID pandemic, so we send medications through donations from our members. So those are things you feel like you should be able to do, and we have the means to do it. So it's kind of payback.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's very good.
And also feeling like when you think about it, see whatever we achieve here, it's more when you think connect it with the country, right? So because people appreciate, and
Right.
yeah.
Have you had any situations, or you probably have, where people who listen to your work have come to you and said certain things to you? How it impacted them?
Sometimes, yeah, we do get scholarship, so you get letters, you get and you can find out the how much a dollar value.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, so,
Absolutely. And
yeah.
I want to clarify,
Mhm.
people who have read your work, how have they, what kind of conversations has sparked?
Yeah, so some are surprised because they didn't know that I had this creative background,
Yeah.
and also some kind of like my closest friends in Sri Lanka, they knew I was doing these kind of things, and
Hmm.
so they also like you
Yeah.
should have say some say, oh, you should have been in Sri Lanka, so you could have gone further, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because being here, we don't really have a chance to promote our work,
Right.
and so I'm actually not promoting my work at all.
Right. Right. I noticed that.
Yeah, so but yeah, that opportunity is kind of lost, when you
So
out.
we need to find a way to get your work to Sri Lanka and promote it there. Because, yeah, because I mean, I think,
Mhm.
because if your goal is to reach out to the young generations and change their minds, I think, which I am too now,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
part of my audience I wanted to be Sri Lankans, and I want them to hear, like, and I think already this revolution is happening in Sri Lanka, so I'm not a
yeah,
pioneer here,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I think we should give more prevalence to creativity, not as like education system, but as
exactly.
almost like
Uh-huh.
a practice, a
Yeah, yeah,
reverence. Because I truly think that
yeah,
people should create, because you can heal.
exactly,
You know,
exactly.
I've gone through a lot of tough stuff in my life, and if it wasn't for creativity, I honestly wouldn't be alive. I would not be,
Yeah,
because it's hard when you go through life and trauma and things like that.
exactly.
Creativity helped me
Yeah,
get to a point of healing.
exactly. And also the we need to open up the mind of Sri Lankans
Yeah.
to that creativity is very important. Like see here, one time there was a student, graduate student, went to school with me. Major was English, ended up with a math PhD. See,
Oh.
and there was another person went to science faculty in Sri Lanka. He is a doctor here. So I mean, there's opportunities for people to change. But
Right.
Sri Lanka, we have a solid, like a track. You are in this stream. Your end up goal is a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer. There's no way out.
Mm.
So that kind of put people's in like pigeonhole, type of thing. But we need to open up, so be more flexible, right?
I don't think I've ever shared this, but when I was in school, I was trying to pick a stream for A levels, advanced levels.
Yeah.
That's the entrance exam for university.
Mhm.
I changed my direction, my stream, like 4 times.
Oh wow.
I started with maths.
Yeah.
I was so like ambitious, like you. After all level, I'm like, I gotta get it together. So I started with maths, did like a 2 terms of it, all sucked at it, and then went to like commerce and tried to do business. Even there, like I don't want to cut upon and to
Yeah,
memorize.
yeah, yeah.
And then No, I actually went to bio for a week. I'm
Okay.
like, this is too much. I can't memorize. So and then I went to like back to maths, and they're like, you can't be here. And then I jumped to like arts, and I finally tried to do arts, and that's when my mom's like, we got the visa to go to America. I'm like, thank you. But no, you're right because
Yeah.
I genuinely felt like I didn't fit anywhere. Yeah, I genuinely felt like I was more than these four streams options I had.
Mhm.
Thankfully, I find it in Sri Lanka, at least from social media, from what I've seen, because of globalization, because of the internet, because of all of those things. Now there is so much more options for people
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
make money online
Mhm, mhm,
and
mhm.
do businesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
The amount of like normal people doing businesses in Sri Lanka, we was entrepreneurship, is blowing my mind,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and how innovative they are.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, when we were growing up, commerce is not considered as a very important subject, So,
Yeah.
but now, there's accountants, MBAs, and all these things. So that's positive growth. So,
I was seeing
mhm,
on the news that they are going to add entrepreneurship and business classes into the education system now,
mhm.
which is fantastic.
Yeah, yeah,
Like they don't
that's
even do that here just yet. Like I don't think they do in education system. Do they do it? Like teach about entrepreneurship and business leadership or something in high school?
not
Those are
much.
electives, right? You pick the classes. Oh,
Like when you go down south, like into like Butler County and Cincinnati area, they teach you like farming school of America.
Uh-huh.
So they learn the business of farming, but not.
not. So that's interesting. So
Yeah,
even
yeah.
here,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna leave that part. That's my wife, our producer. So that's good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
interesting. So I'm excited about what's happening in Sri Lanka as far as those things are
exactly. Yeah,
concerned. That's
yeah.
good. I went on a whole rant there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you mainly write. That's your main creative
Mhm,
outlet.
mhm.
When you decided to make that into like a part of your life at that pivotal moment, was it ever a escape for you from life also, or and
Mhm.
how did you prioritize that in your life?
Okay. Well, thinking about that, I think it's the when you change the subjects, it kind of relaxes you, right? See,
Mhm.
that's kind of the main thing. So, I kind of like to do bunch of things. See, even when I read like 3, 4 books at a time. So it's not a one book. So I have,
Oh, simultaneously. Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
So it's sometimes different subjects. So yeah, maybe a novel, maybe little bit of Buddhism, little bit of politics.
Wow.
So I kind of it's like a diversification type of thing. so,
Yeah.
so that's I mean, even if you don't get published, writing those things kind of takes yeah, relaxes your mind, I suppose, right? So yeah,
Mm.
it's part of like my,
Relaxes your
yeah.
body, but like your mind is working really hard. Then, oh no,
No, right? It's like
it does
it's
relax.
yeah,
I thought about that this is the flow state you're talking about when you're creating this,
yeah,
right? Let's
yeah,
talk about that.
yeah. So in that state, it's like it's a concentrated type of thing, right? So when you are on a concentrated state, it's kind of it's effortless.
Effortless,
Yeah,
yeah.
like even people who exercise daily, and
Mm.
it's not a work for them, right? So
You're
it's
right.
kind of, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like a part of your, like, it relaxes you. I would think, oh man, how would you run 5 miles and you're telling me
Right.
I can't even walk after. Yeah, but this guy says, oh, that relaxes me. So that's kind of,
You're right.
yeah, see,
Yeah.
it's like because you are not thinking about running, right? If you're running or doing something. So same here. So you are not even thinking about I am doing a creative work. It
Right.
comes like a flow, right? And sometimes what you create is nothing, and it's no value there.
Right.
It just you consume the time, you got your relaxation, but final product might not be valuable, right?
Right.
So yeah, and
Final product is not the goal,
not the
right?
goal, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I have seen many people they write things or poetry or anything and they just throw it away, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, growing up in Sri Lanka, we have hard time throwing
Throwing anything
anything.
away. Yeah. So funny.
Yeah.
um. So I'm assuming that you do this when you write. You write quietly. Everything
Yeah,
is quiet around you.
quite. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's funny. Similarly, like for me, obviously,
yeah.
like I used to listen to music when I would do woodworking,
Uh-huh.
but all of a sudden, ever since I got into creativity, I don't listen to anything anymore.
Yeah,
Like I would be sanding for hours, but my mind is like somewhere far. It's
exactly.
almost like it's like you're doing the not a mundane, but
Yeah,
like brushing your teeth,
yeah,
right? It's like sanding is for me. It's like I already know what I'm doing. If I'm like sculpting something, then I
yeah.
want to like know where direction.
Yeah.
But in that process is like when I find clarity in so many things.
Exactly, exactly.
I went through this period
Yeah,
of like I went through a major
yeah,
trauma,
yeah.
and then after that, I needed to figure out life. And in that period, all I did was like woodworking, write, and I found like so many of the puzzle pieces of my life that were like lies, labels, everything started to fall apart because all those things started coming up, and I asked questions. Okay, is that me? Like, am
Yeah,
I like supposed? Am I stupid? Because that's what I thought I was.
yeah,
Is this true? And so then I would go down all the list of reasons why I think this way, and I think I don't think all this. The things that are posed, and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm actually not stupid.
yeah, yeah.
It's because a teacher told me at some point in my life when I actually believed it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, right. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's way to stop the time. So like
Stop
the
the
time.
time.
Yeah, time kind of like you can slow it down. Believe it or not, right? That's the way your thinking becomes clearer. Like so it's like let's think about like competitive sports like tennis or something,
Okay.
and the way this they are playing this so fast, we can't even see the ball, right?
Right.
And we can believe how this they return the ball and they put it in the right place, uh, and the reason is of course they are slowing down the time, right? So it's for them, the time between one shot to the other shot is like an hour. For us it's like a millisecond.
Right.
Yeah, so it's the clarity of thoughts, concentration.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah. So the concentration is kind of a medicine when you think about it. So like when you are doing woodwork, right? So that's like a medicine, right? You
It
enjoy the
is.
life, and time has you don't. I mean, it's
It stands still.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, because I could be woodworking or writing for like 3 4 hours, and then all of a sudden, like she's like, "Are you still alive?" My wife comes and checks. I'm like, "What do you mean? Like,
Yeah,
how long has it been? 3 hours? Really?"
yeah, yeah. That's
So
the.
we,
Mhm,
that I like that, you know,
mhm,
slowing time down.
mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
that's powerful. So it's almost like a weapon, a secret weapon for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Huh. Did your wife ever get annoyed with you?
Well, of course, right? Yeah, yeah,
It's
because
like
there's
that was that's the equivalent of like modern day husbands playing games on like video games you were writing.
yeah, 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 yeah. So the good thing is, you get your space, and you do need to get your space, So I mean, otherwise the life you can has to be a space. So your space, your wife's space, your kid's space, and the respecting the space is the life.
Mm,
So and
yeah.
yeah, when you have that time,
It's funny you mentioned that. I was gonna ask you, do you have your own space to do that? Like your
yeah,
own office or whatever?
yeah,
You do, I'm guessing.
yeah, my office, yeah.
That's where
So
you go and like
yeah,
just go.
yeah.
Does it feel like you're walking into this like imaginary like world you get to like step into and like all these possibilities are there?
Well, I think you create the background, in your
Mm.
mind, go
Yeah,
by, right? See,
yeah.
once you create the background, it's kind of like, yeah, so you have your books, I have bunch of books in my office,
Yeah.
so that,
Yeah, to
Yeah.
me, every time, like I have multiple ways I create. So I make music, I write, I do video, I do woodworking, and literally all of those things I have a space in my house for. So whenever I have the urge, oh, what do I want to do today? And I'm very busy lately with editing podcasts, but the other day I'm like, I'm gonna go sculpt something. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't even finish it, but I was there for like 2 hours and I needed that time to slow the time
So
down to
yeah.
just like, wait, I'm doing a lot of things. What's
Uh-huh.
happening? Get
Uh-huh.
things straight. Like because once I did that, I was able to understand, okay, how which direction I'm taking the podcast, all these things I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Clarity just came in like
Exactly.
nobody's
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, and you was also asking me the question how the creative this comes. It's not. I mean, the thinking goes for a year sometimes, right? So sometimes a day too, but the thinking is always there. But
Right.
writing itself really don't take much, right? So,
Yeah.
but the creative process is a long process. Yeah. Yeah.
That's something I learned later on once I like looked into writing books. I didn't realize actually how easy it is to write a book in the sense of having a vision and like putting that into an outline. Like I didn't realize how simple that is because once you figure that part, I don't want to like undermine writing
Right.
books, but
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
saying I always saw it as a daunting task because like I only saw the images of some person like typewriter and like some in a dark room with the light, like that's all you saw. But here, like you've thought about the ideas, you've like spend the time to like analyze which
Yeah.
direction
Yeah.
you want
Yeah.
to go. You have a plan, and
Uh-huh.
then you like a thesis almost. You just write the whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's even that. I wish like I knew about that. Like I would have written so many books by now, which I plan to write in the future. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, thinking never stops. Thinking
Thinking
keep
never.
going on, So, and then certain things, you proceed with it, like if you have a book idea, say, and then you sometimes end up with writing a book. Sometimes you have that creative, but you don't really finish the product.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Um. Do you think all? Do you think adults do this? Like, do you think adults ask questions, or do we just like get through life? Like in your experience of what you've seen.
I think people are like in certain races, like rat race type of thing. So
Oh
they, yeah,
yeah.
so they kind of, always into that. Okay, so yeah, they lose the enjoyment, like,
Yeah.
say working, for example, it's like a burden. But once it comes to the burden type, then it's hard, right? So every day when you get up, you think, oh, I have to do this today, and you feel, you don't
Depressed,
enjoy.
miserable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's what's happening, many areas, unfortunately, right? So family life, work, things like that. It's
Survival mentality too,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I realized that now survival mentality can look in so many ways. It's not always about the money anymore. It could be security, could be the safety.
uh-huh.
Like immigrant experience is about like, okay, I just gotta keep the job until I get the visa, all of
Yeah, yeah,
that. It can look so different.
yeah,
Survival
yeah.
mentality.
Right, and then you are focused on that only, and the life goes by. So, yeah, yeah,
See that's what happened to me. I
yeah,
mean, you knew when I was a chef. Like I was a chef for 8 years, and
yeah,
I love cooking, but didn't love managing that environment
yeah.
anymore. And I was depressed. Like
That's
I
right.
was thinking about suicide a lot, many times in that time. And
Uh-huh.
I'm glad I listened to my gut and left that career. It was hard to come to this
Yeah,
point. It
exactly.
took
Yeah.
me a long time. I struggled a lot because all that time, that's one thing I realized. Literally, the moment I came to US and I realized, okay, now I gotta get a career, I gotta figure this thing out. I stopped creating. I got into that race, like the
Hmm.
hamster wheel, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And I just kept going, 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 and I didn't have no. There were so many times I'm like, I don't know how to get out of this.
yeah, yeah.
I
That's
feel
true.
stuck,
Hmm.
and I shared this in previous episode. One day I was so depressed, something out of nowhere. I was like, I want to go find some play-doh, clay. Like when we growing up, we make clay or play-doh. I want to make something out of Play-Doh. So I went to Walmart and got Play-Doh, came home, 27 years old, literally playing with Play-Doh. And then I was like, I want to keep something I want to make. So I found there's something called polymer clay that you can put in the oven and it becomes actual clay product. So then I bought those and started making and put them in the oven and like then I got into music again. Like slowly I realized I'm no longer depressed, but I knew now that I had to get out. I have a way to get out. I don't know how it's still, but this is making me happy for some
Exactly.
reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So okay. So it sounds like if you're stuck in that hamster wheel, life must give you a moment to question.
Question yourself, yeah, and then look at your options, yeah. So we kind of living for other people basically, right? So we are, oh, everyone, oh, if you do this, if you quit this job, people are going to look at it this way, that way, right? So that's what we are thinking. We are not thinking about ourselves, right? We are thinking how it looks, how my family thinks. Is that a shame for somebody? That's how we look, and that's kind of taking the creativity out, right? Because
It's even what you're thinking.
yeah, yeah.
Have you ever tried writing in English?
I had written some,
Okay.
so some, even I have translated some of
Okay.
other people's work, also my work, but not to the level of, printing, like
Okay.
publishing. So, but yeah, I have done some, So I do get sometimes some requests from my, friends, those who connected with music, and they ask me, "Oh, this is the. Can you write English words for this song?"
Yeah.
Something like that. So
Okay.
I have done several of those,
So what do you how do you explain how you feel when you're writing Sinhalese versus in English now that you've lived in for 40 years in US?
Oh, great question. Yeah. So mm, when I think about it, one uh, reason is like a difference is the meaning. See, in Sinhalese, one word has many meanings, and you can creatively wordsmith that, right?
Yeah.
But in English, not being your original like mother tongue, so like your second language, right?
Yeah.
So that's lost, So we can't really use a word in a way that we use in Sinhalese.
So as a person who reads Sinhalese, like and I haven't done any reading, so what are some of the topics and themes you've seen in like Sinhalese writing as opposed to when you read like in English?
International.
International, yeah.
Okay, good question. Yeah. So when you think about it, like single is the like the marriage concept, adult child concepts in Sri Lanka is kind of pretty different here, right?
Mhm.
So there, people expect you have to respect the adult no matter what, right? Oh, you have to respect like clergy, Buddhist monks, and you have to worship them. That kind of culture is not here, right? So their creativity is kind of sometimes focused on those,
Culture
yeah,
and how of shaping society.
yes, yes, yes. So that's kind of a big thing. But now I'm kind of seeing like a variety of subjects, like we talked about, So people are now going into different areas, and they are making very creative books, So and ideas. So yeah, for example, I'm thinking there was a book about Muralidharan that
Yeah.
see, yeah, so that's his
Muralidharan is a famous cricket bowler from
cricket
Sri
bowler.
Lanka.
So yeah, there was I think Shehan Gunatilaka, Karunatilaka. So he wrote a book about like yeah, that kind of
Memoir.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
That
So
stuff is not that known in Sri Lankan literature, as you say.
it's, I think it was translated into Sinhalese also. I
Okay.
think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nowadays, those things never happen.
Yeah, so it's more like cultural programming in a sense.
Yeah.
Would you say it that way?
Yeah, I would think, yeah.
Is that like what do you call it? Is it offensive to our culture to say that? I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
but kind of yeah, like when you think about historically, like the old days, Piyadas Sirisena, and they were like more like Sucharitavadi, meaning like they're thinking about making people good people, like don't drink, So those are their main topics. Okay, it's like
Yeah.
people are looked at like a black and white type of things, good person, bad person. Yeah. But now people are writing more in this gray areas, and they are expanding what is right, what's wrong, what's black, what's white. Kind of, yeah.
So sounds like written media literature was mainly used for again cultural programming and then like pretty much how you should be pretty much.
Yes.
Even the I can't say
Yeah.
Sucharita, like
Yeah.
even the character, how good person, bad person, even that's almost instructional, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
and but then you had like not you what are those what are those famous authors like who are known for creativity in Sri Lanka? Like
Yeah.
there's one museum I forget I went to.
Martin Vikram.
Martin
Yeah,
Vikramasinghe.
he opened up the minds, and he did write in various topics, and so this is like a transition time for Sri Lanka. So yeah, so that's when this
Renaissance.
yeah, so opening up and then kept going, and then through Gunadas Amarasekar, and to this day now people are more creative. So there's a very nice novelist in Sri Lanka writing in Sinhala, so they do
Wow.
good jobs. Yeah. Yes.
It's funny because up
Yeah.
until now, as I'm thinking about it, if I think about literature, I would think about the struggle with independence and the major people writing about that and against that rebellion almost like
Yeah.
what, and then you're talking about after that it's like cultural programming, and then Martin Vikramasinghe, these kind of authors, like let's break from that guys, and
Yeah.
they've been on this journey for the last however
Last
many
years, yeah, yeah,
years.
yeah, and also they also were looking at like a post-independence, Sri Lanka. Yeah,
Post-independence.
so how?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mm.
Cool. Were there ever moments where your culture made you question your creativity?
Well, I being living outside Sri Lanka, so we don't have to really worry too much about the off limit. So you have to watch
Can you tell me
out,
what kind of topics?
like say the religion, for example. You can't criticize some religions, so you have to watch out what you say.
Okay.
So that's like what is the police type of thing going on, policing
Religious
people's,
policing almost?
yeah,
Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah,
See,
yeah, yeah.
so that's like, and also politics itself not good, right? So they are trying to control people's creativity by not allowing to publish, or putting people in jail for publishing certain things. So
Yeah.
yeah, those things are going on, but living outside, I'm not under that pressure though.
Okay, that's
But
good to know.
of course you have to watch
What
out.
part of your
Right,
identity
right,
do you
yeah.
protect the
Yeah.
most in your creative work?
I think the personal life, so I don't bring that to the forefront. But yes,
All right.
yes, yes, yes.
Finally, one of the things that when I was thinking about having you on the podcast is I want to show people that anybody can be creative. And a lot of my friends who are in academia and even like big, I said big corporate jobs,
Yeah.
like a lot of people want to be creative, but like, like I said, you have to make a decision. What do you have to say to them if they want to be creative, or should they also try to be creative?
Yes. And a good question. So, like we were discussing, see, the main thing is creativity comes in all forms, So you have to think of what you like. poetry or film or something, right?
Yeah.
But not only that, so creativity is always there, and believe it or not, maybe that person is already creating things, environment or like a market.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, you
They
think
have to share their work with somebody
exactly
to hear how,
how
whether
it's good or bad, right?
right.
Yeah.
Because earlier in the episodes we talked about, like, make sure you go to people you can trust. Some people trying to put you down, 'cause
Yes,
that would be the wrong person to
Wrong.
talk to.
That's true. That is. And also another thing to add is, don't expect all of your creativity is like top notch. See, if you think about, so it's not gonna happen. Certain things are, like about books, things I write. My thoughts are now sometimes different. Sri Lanka, that's thinking about the previous question you was asking. That's another thing. People think what you wrote defines you. That's not really true. Time, like a timeline. This time, this is what you are thinking, and this is your thoughts on that.
Right.
And after a while, your thinking might be completely different,
Yeah.
and your creation might be polar opposite to that,
Exactly.
and that's possible, and that's perfectly fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Because one thing I realized was, as creative people, we could have an idea in our head and how it should look like. We try to make it happen, and it doesn't always turn out to be that way.
Okay.
And what I realized is that outcome was what it was supposed to be. If I was an AI, then I could literally replicate the same thing I thought in my head and make it. AI, I'm a human with emotions.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna
But it's
morph
not
into something different
different
because of the human experience. And I realize that whatever we create is literally a snapshot of, it's like an X-ray of how we were thinking, our life experience, all of those things at that moment.
that moment.
So
Yes.
we kind of talked about this,
Absolutely
about
right.
people who don't think of themselves as creatives. It's obvious that they should try to create. It's obvious that you also mentioned that you can figure out what your creative avenues are.
And also it's venues are
Right.
it's an escape. It's from whatever your daily routine, right?
Yeah.
Escape from daily routine is a positive thing, right? Some people drink a coffee, right? So that's the break they're taking. And that's you're not
Thinking never
just
stops,
sitting
right?
down and drinking coffee. You're
Never
thinking,
stops.
right? So that's
So what you're saying is, if you're somebody who thinks that you're not a creative, stop. You are a creative. You're a human being. You have creativity in you. So that, and then give yourself permission and time to figure
First of
out
all,
what
you
that
need to
is. So it's almost like, instead of saying go find a hobby, you're saying what are the things that you are excited to do, like figure out those things, and then try those things
Try
out and
those
see
things
which
out.
one sticks,
exactly. Yeah.
and see if which one actually is an escape and which one is actually a chore or a job.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like if you into
things,
say
right?
planting, like see you can create beautiful, like nice landscapes, parks
Yeah, it's
with
it's
different
art.
types
And
of flowers, and that's your creativity, right?
one final thing I wanted to bring up. Growing up in Sri Lanka, you saw the street performers, like they do dramas and stuff like that, and I think some of them I saw as like political satire almost.
Yeah.
And it always felt like our society looked down on them, like that they were crazy, wasting their time. For those people who, even still, if you're watching and you're in Sri Lanka, or you're anybody else who are feeling like people look at me like I'm crazy, what do you have to say to those people? not to the people
not
watching
the
it, because
people.
obviously they can
Yeah.
any big,
Yeah.
as creative people, we all have to understand that people
Yeah.
will say whatever. But yeah,
Yeah, I would think, keep doing, right? See, I mean, you can't always please everybody, right? So but if it's you get a satisfaction from doing it, and you feel like, you're doing something positive, right? So I would say keep doing,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
How are you challenging yourself to stay inspired?
Well, I kind of look at do different things, for example,
Okay.
right? So reading, of course, listening to music, nature walks, all these things are ways to, uh, get back to your roots. Think about like getting back to the creativity, right?
So it's a conscious effort for you to do these things to make sure you are creative or
It's
be inspired.
right. Yeah. So and also you need new experience. Yeah. So like wherever you gather the new experience is important, right? So once you don't have the new experience, there's no point. Yeah.
I think this is the last question.
Okay.
Looking back at your life, I see you as a unique person doing living life the way you want to live with your family. So looking back at your life, what advice do you have to give to people, young people?
Mm. Yeah, I would say, wherever you like, so follow that path, so like I was saying, just like you, I started with doing different things. And in fact, you see, when I went to my A levels class, and the principal said at the school, and principal said, "Hey, your grades are very good in mathematics. Why don't you try mathematics?" I said, "Okay, sir."
Right.
So
Right.
then that's how I switched to mathematics, and then yeah, after I went to mathematics, just like you, I was doing different things. I got into technicals. Yes.
Right.
And then I thought, no, that's not what I like, So then I thought mathematics is more interesting to me. So I switched to mathematics. And in fact, I started with statistics, try statistics, and then I thought mathematics is better. So, kind of, I had my chance of, trial and error. So, for people, I would say trial and error. Nothing works in linear, So, you have to go take detours, scenic routes,
Right.
and that's how the life. That's what's different between a person and AI. AI
Right.
is linear, right?
Linear.
So yeah, you have a certain object, and that's where you are. But for
Mm.
us, we can take a detour anytime, and we should.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, it's so refreshing to, you know, talk to a Sri Lankan uncle, and you know, to hear things that I have been thinking and struggling with for the longest time. It's this is one of the reasons I do this, because I feel like people don't understand creativity was put aside because of industrialism and all of these
All
things
those,
that
yeah,
we were all subjected to be part of the machine and the part of the assembly line and all of those things.
things, yeah.
And the reason I'm so inspired and passionate about this is that there people should know that you actually can do trial and error. You can take risks.
Yeah.
You should follow your
Yeah.
curiosity. You should try things. If anything, like I
Yeah.
look at my father, I look at my life, like we've spent a lot of time and money on our hobbies, you know, and our society would have told us that we were wasting time, and jokes on them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
On that note, I'm super grateful that
Thank
you
you,
took the
Shivam.
time. I am blown away. If you're still here, thank you. I hope you were inspired just as much as I have. Please let us know what are the things that stood out to you the most, and if you were inspired to create, because that's so important for us to know that if you were inspired to create. And I'll also put all where Vikumaya stuff is going to be at, I mean, music and books and things like that.
Thank you.
You're the first Sri Lankan I've had on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
I'm honored to have you.
Thank you so much for taking your time and
Yeah.
coming here.
Oh
And
my
I
gosh.
enjoy this discussion.
Thank you. Until next time, keep creating, keep dreaming, and keep exploring your own creative artistry. Take care. Bye bye. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.